is so good to see you. And man, we're getting so close to the granddaddy of them all, the Bart Hall show at the Long Beach Convention Center. Man, it's good to see you, my friend.
It's great to see you, Phil.
Thank you.
We've been chatting a little bit this year, which we missed for a couple years, and it's been great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, you just laid out the game plan here on the table for the Long Beach show. My God, you have a lot of participation.
We do, and we want to thank everybody because we were not able to begin to produce these shows until September of 22. Well, it takes over a year just to do Long Beach.
I can imagine.
And then and Del Mar, it takes almost a year as well. And then we added a boat show on top of that because I'm such an idiot. But the boat show, which no one thought would succeed, was very successful. Del Mar was great.
It was. I was there.
Thurs Outdoorsmen set 39-year records. They had record sales every single day, the best they've ever done.
Sam De La Torre was there with Island Fishing Tackle. He called me up and said, "Man, we have sold a lot of stuff here."
I love Sam.
I do too.
Sam is a great person. He's a big supporter of CCA. He's someone in this industry that we need to support and help as often as we can. And then also Fast Lane Sailing Center. Now, he's my oldest exhibitor in San Diego. He was one of our first guys who used to sell Catalina sailboats.
Yeah.
And he said, I have never sold so many kayaks anywhere at any time than I did during these last 4 days. So, and the same with the boat room. I think that boat room we had several hundred boats, and that room is entirely sold out for next year already.
Wow, you got to be thrilled.
I am. Now, we were missing some things in Del Mar that I wanted to have, but we got started so late that people's budgets were already gone for other things. And
yes.
So, but next year that's all changing, and we've already talked to everyone in the industry, and Del Mar is going to be full, and Long Beach is full. We have no more room, so it's going to be really. I'm very excited about this. I always get nervous. They all laugh at me because Jenny's in the room here, and she will.
Jenny, your lovely wife, is there.
I know, but what? 3 or 4 hours before the show, Long Beach opens every year, I am absolutely certain that no one's going to show up. I am. And I'm just terrified. And at first they used to worry about me, and now they just ignore me.
Do you ignore him, Jenny, when he does that?
I ignore him.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just, it means so much to me. Long Beach means so much, not as a business, Phil, but as a symbol of the fishing community. Long Beach grew. We've had this discussion before, and you probably
let's do it again because it's worth having.
Okay, so Long Beach grew out of the fishing community. In 1946, when Fred and Lois Hall decided. Well, before that, Fred Hall worked, as a usher, ticket seller, and gateman for Crowd Management Incorporated.
Your father.
My father, and he went to his boss, Mel Morrison, who ended up being my godfather. And he said to him, look, we do these sporting events for all these other kinds of things. Why don't we do something for sportsmen? Why don't we do a sportsman show? And Mel's answer was, what the hell's a sportsman show? And so in 46, they did the first one. As a matter of fact, Ginny put together a memorial to my mom and dad. There's a video that runs, and then there's she put some pictures on a board, and one of the pictures came out of the LA Times in 1946. It was a cartoon drawing of Fred, and in April 6th to 16th, it was a 10-day show outside at Gilmore Stadium. And it was just, from that point on till now, every other sports show in the Western United States, and to some extent the United States in general, came out of the things that came out of this show, which wasn't called the Fred Hall Show then. It was called the LA Sportsman Show.
Yeah.
But eventually, when Mel Morrison died, my godfather, the other partner and my dad didn't see eye to eye, and they split. And the other partner did a show somewhere else, and my dad did one. Then some other guys decided, well, there's tension down there. We'll come in and do another show. We'll be a competitor also. And so they came in. And so people would say, well, we're going to that sports show. They were all about the same time. And they'd say, which one are you going to? And ours always said produced by Fred J. Hall. He said, well, we're going to that Fred Hall show. Going to that Fred Hall show. So I remember when my dad finally called me and said, hey, look, I need you. I can't do this by myself anymore. And I said, great, Dad. How much are you going to pay me? And he offered me a third of what I was making as a rep. And there was silence for a while. And he said, well, you're not going to get rich, but you're going to have a great lifestyle. And he was right. So anyway, I came on then, and then a year later, I did two important things. Mike Lum and I talked him into letting Andrew's Sporting Goods, which soon after became Turner's Outdoorsman, into the show to sell stuff. Because before then, we weren't allowed to sell anything.
Yeah.
Just show it.
Right.
And then the other thing I did was I said, Dad, we need to call this the Fred Hall Show because that's what everybody else calls it.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to do it, but finally he agreed, and that was kind of a marketing home run, the Fred Hall Show.
Yeah.
And here we go. And on that note, I would be more than happy, this is what I want actually in my heart, is to call this the Fred Hall Show until the day I die.
Right.
But legally, I'm not allowed to do that.
Yes.
And so now we have the name the Bart Hall Show.
Okay, well that explains a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
because I know you,
Yeah.
and you would want to honor your father, but the legality got in the way. So now it's the Bart Hall Show,
Legal stuff.
and in your head, it's still the Fred Hall Show, right?
In everybody's head, it
Yeah.
is. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, we did. But the one good thing I heard when I was over at Turner's is they said, you know, we don't care what you call it as long as the last four letters are HALL.
Yeah, I know. I catch myself all the time when I start talking about it.
I do
or
too.
somebody will correct me.
I
you
do
know?
too. I said,
I got a check that said Fred Hall.
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah, they said, I'm sorry, I can't cash it.
Jenny got a check that said Fred Hall Show, so she had
know.
to send it back. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, the legacy of your father, I remember him walking around the show. I remember when we brought Bud Frillo in. I got to
Yeah, it was
be good
so
friends
cool.
with Bud. That was a lot of fun. There was so many great memories. And you mentioned that there's a community. Now, there's all these great booths, and I want to get into some of them, the fly fishing and the resorts and the boats and everything else. But, Bart, it's all about that community, isn't it? It's about guys coming and saying, hey, remember that yellowtail I caught last year? And I can't wait to... And you just, as you walk through that show, you hear all these conversations going on and that community bonding.
that's why you're so good at this, Phil. You got me back on track because I did get off track. Didn't I? Yeah, you're a pro. Yeah, it is the community. This all grew out of that community. Fred and Lois did what they wanted to do, what they loved. There were no rules, and then the community responded, and then they responded to what the community wanted, and we have continued to do that for 75 years. This will be our 75th show, but it's the community that's important. We don't manufacture anything. We don't sell anything. I don't care what's sold at the show. And people get mad at me for that who have booths where they're selling stuff. I don't care. What's important is the community gathers together to celebrate sport fishing. That's what's important. Sport fishing and outdoor recreation, because we have a significant amount of hunting and international travel as well.
Yeah.
But we got some cool. One of the cool things that we're starting to develop is this overland thing. Now, people heard me talk about this in 2020, and then we had this interruption. But now we're back. Next year, we're going to have the largest overland section, I think, of any show in the country.
Really?
Yeah, we've already talked to all these guys. They all are going to be around the lagoon outside on the grass. Because why not? You're overland.
Yeah.
You know, this is where you belong.
Yeah, right.
And well, we've got quite a bit this year as well. We're starting. You know, we have some outside, we have some inside, but we have a couple of really cool ones.
If somebody doesn't know what you're referring to when you say overland, tell them.
Okay, so you know, you can take your trailer or your RV to an RV park and camp, or you can go to a designated site somewhere. Or you can take these overland trailers, which are typically narrower because they have to be pulled down a trail. And you go out in the middle of nowhere, and here you are. And you put up your trailer, and that's where you are.
That sounds like heaven on earth.
They're smaller, but they go up.
Yeah.
You know, they're narrow, but they go up. And some of these are really cute. They're just really good looking.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that they were smaller. See, at first I didn't understand the difference in these.
Narrow, right?
Yeah, narrow.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now they're showing them to me. They're only 7 feet wide. So
Yeah.
one of them we have is only 5 feet wide.
Wow.
It's 8 by 5 in a teardrop shape. So a lot of that kind of stuff is there, and it's very, very cool.
Man, that sounds absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what we should do right now? We should talk about when is the show and how people can buy a ticket, get a ticket ahead of time.
Well, the show is later this year. This is the first time that it's been this late. It's March 29th to April 2nd, and that will be Wednesday through Sunday. March 29th is a Wednesday, and April 2nd is a Sunday. You can buy tickets online at Tixar, T-I-X-R, or through our website, hallshows.com, or you can just do it the old-fashioned way and come up to the ticket booth, and we'll be more than happy to sell you a ticket. Now, there's 2 entrances to the show. There's the normal one that people think about when over by the sports arena with the whales painted on it.
Yeah, right.
That's the way most people come in, but there's also another entrance over on Pine Street. People can park over in the Pike parking lot and come up across the street there. It's about 2 blocks, and come up the stairs and go on the Pine Street entrance and come down the escalator into the show there. So there's 2 ways to get in. And then we expect it to be pretty full, so we're making arrangements for parking shuttles to bring people from alternate sites
Great.
as we go forward. And we're getting big ones. We're getting buses, and we're going to get enough of them so nobody has to wait. You come out, and if you wait more than 5 minutes, call me on my cell phone.
The vibe I'm getting out there, just the buzz, is
Yeah.
that it's going to be really well attended. I mean, everybody I
think so.
talk to is looking forward to it.
And hundreds of seminars. We've got the and all the seminars now are more in the show. They're not. And before I pushed them out to the corners. That's not the way it is now. You've got the Okuma Bass Bin is right there in the center. Matter of fact, it's right next to the California Rifle and Pistol Association BB gun range for kids, and right next to that is the Oak Tree axe throwing truck where you can throw axes, and then you've got the Okuma bass tank, and then you have the Hobie seminar area, and then we have a new seminar area this year because inside the show from Friday through Sunday we're having the Southwest Council of Fly Fishers International, and they're having a 3-day expo, and they'll be inside of the show, but that doesn't open until Friday. But the casting pond will be there available for guys like Guy Jeans from His and Hers and Frank Selby. They'll be giving casting lessons during the time, and there's a little seminar area there. Then there's the main accurate one, but it's right there in the middle, just down right next to Sam at Island Tackle.
Oh, great.
Real close,
Yeah.
right there. Yeah. And then we're going to put the Daiwa seminar area is going to be in the hallway right near Turner's. And then over on the other side is the Mammoth Lake seminar area, and that'll be where it's always been, right next to Mercury and right across from the 395 aisle. And the 395 aisle is bigger than we've ever had it. And 395 means everything on the way up into the Eastern Sierras, and when you hit Highway 395, we've got more people there displaying than we've ever had in the history of our show.
Really?
Yeah.
This show just sounds like it's jam-packed.
It is. What we're missing is some of the Alaska lodges because it's too late in the year.
Yeah.
They have to be at their stores by April 1st. But with my plans for changing dates next year, all those guys will be back, and I don't know what we're going to do because we're already sold out this year. So
You mentioned you're changing dates next year. Are we talking about that, or do you want to say when that is, or not?
well,
You don't have to if you don't want to.
No. Tentatively, it's going to be July 20.
January.
I'm sorry, January 24th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 24th, I think, or it's the 25th to the 29th. I can't, but it's in that. It's the last week in January.
You know what? I kind of like that. You're touching your mic there.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. I kind of like that because all these guys are on the beach and they can all attend the show. And the fishing hasn't. Once the fishing gets crazy, you know what happens? People go fishing. this is in kind of a perfect time to have the show.
Well, we used to do the shows in March, and we did Long Beach first week in March, and we did Del Mar last week in March. Well, that's great when the fishing used to be, the way it was, and we had albacore and we had other things. You know? But now with the bluefin, it's all pushed up, and these boats are in getting serviced and stuff like that during January, and these guys are available now to come to a show and talk about their boats for the next season. And so we think it's a good time, and we'll be first in the marketplace, and I think it's going to work out really well. So far, everybody's liked the idea.
I do too. So there's a young man standing over there. You can see him. His name's Michael Limon.
Hi, Mike.
He's crazy about fishing, Bart. And so I think this is a nice segue into how important the outdoors and fishing should be and is to kids, and the opportunities to go with your family to the Bart Hall show and get started in some outdoor activity that doesn't involve watching TikTok on your phone and all of this nonsense that we're bombarding our kids with nowadays. It's so important, isn't it?
It is important, Phil, and I that's not just lip service. I just did a commercial where I said the people who attend our shows are good people, and we need more of them. I mean, and I meant that when I wrote that in the commercial, and that's what this is. We want you to get away from that cell phone and that TV and all that stuff and get out there. And when you're there, you'll thank us for doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it just makes you feel. Look, you get when you're fishing, you're in present time. You're there, you're in present time. When you're walking through the woods, the same thing. And if you're hunting, it's the same thing. You're in present time. You're not worried about any of that other stuff, and your phone's not ringing. And time has a different value in the outdoors than it does when you're sitting in the office with your computer going on and texts and emails and all this stuff that happens.
And you're saying you're in the present time, which has benefits psychologically. When you're in the present, you're not worried about things you can't control.
Right.
You're not worried about things that have already gone by. You're just kind of enjoying life and this big, beautiful world that God or whoever you believe in has provided for us, and it's so healthy for kids.
And when you get hooked up, it's even more present time.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Talk to us. So the fly fishing thing almost sounds like a show within the show in and of itself.
It is the show within a show. This is put on by the Southwest Council, Fly Fishers International, and they're Michael Schweit is the one who's in charge of it. And these are all important people in that industry, and they're going to be there, and they want to talk to you. They want to talk to you about what they do. There's guides there that want to take you fishing. There's people there who just want to talk about fly fishing in general. We're going to have places where you can see people tying flies. If you want to get into that, they'll show you how you can get into that, and they'll teach you how to cast. I guarantee you, Frank Selby taught me how to cast in 10 minutes. If he can do that to me, he can teach anyone to cast.
Wow.
He's amazing.
10 minutes.
It's just easy to him. He just sees it. Some other teachers take longer, and they want to do it more precisely and whatever. But just to get you out there and get you fishing, boy, he's really great at it. As is Guy Jeans. He's amazing. And Michael is bringing a whole bunch of people that I don't know that I know are fabulous fly anglers who want to share that with the public. So it should be fun. We're going to have a big casting pond right there. We don't often put casting ponds on the show floor. And, I quite frankly, I wish I could take it up now because I'd like to put some booths in there. But we're not going to. We're going to leave it right there.
And I know Danny Cadota, who has his own show here. He's a big part of Freeman Adventures. He does his show Thursday nights. He has already told me, can't wait to get to the trout pond, catch a trout with his granddaughter. He thinks it's one of the most special moments that happens in his life. Every single year, it repeats itself.
I told you this story before, but the day my dad died, it was a Saturday, and I called a radio show, and I left a message, and at the end of the show, I said, Fred Hall's passed. And we got to the show, and they wanted to put us in this room, and they had flowers all over, and we're trying to be very nice. I couldn't stand it. So I had to walk out. I just had to be out on the floor. Hundreds of people came to me and said, I caught my first fish at this show. My children caught their first fish at this show. And today my grandchildren are going to catch their first fish at this show. And you're lucky I'm not crying right now because I'm on the verge of it. Because that just meant so much to me. And you know, if there's that many people telling you that, that's just the tip of a pyramid.
Right.
And you think of this a conservative estimate. Now, this is very conservative. 1.5 million kids have fished in that trout pond.
Really?
Yeah, that's conservative.
Yes.
Most of them grew up and got married. They had children of their own and grandchildren and more down the line. How many people were indoctrinated or fishing became even more a part of their lives through the Hall shows? It's hard to calculate that number. It's really, really important. And that's our goal. Look, I want to have every tackle company on earth. I want to have every single one, big, small, little, all of it, because I believe that people should get to see everything. I don't have all that this year. I will by next year.
Yeah.
But what we do have is this opportunity for families to have a full day of family entertainment, because that's what we always talk about. We have the Ford Ultimate Air Dogs. We have the Convict Lake Paul Bunyan Lumberjack Show. You know, we have John Petty, who's putting on the Great American Duck Races. We have Mammoth Lakes that is doing the Kids Fish Free Trout Pond. We have archery. We have air gun ranges. We have axe throwing.
Wow.
We have, I mean, you know, it's just casting in the lagoon. We're going to be doing some food demonstrations as well. Not like we used to with Scott because he can't do it anymore. His legs don't let him do it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be doing some of that, and we've got the Convict Lake food court thing out there and a whole bunch of other stuff to eat, and it's just a great place to spend the day with your family. Kids 16 are always free. Military gets a $2 discount. Seniors get a $2 discount. And this year, for the first time we've ever done this before, we're going to have a half price ticket from 5 to 8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Well, you know,
People get off work and
they get off work and they're not going to be able to spend a full day there. It's not really fair, I don't think, to charge them the full price, because a lot of people will spend 6, 7 hours, 8 hours all day there. So they get a half price ticket from 5 to 8.
That is great. Do you think you could do the whole show in a day?
Not if
it's
you want,
hard to do.
Not if you want to see everything.
And stop and talk.
Yeah, if you want to talk to everyone there, no, it's not way. I mean, let's say you spend 10 minutes at each place. There's just no way. I mean, you can't do it.
You know, it dawns on me. So when I was a teacher in China, you're trying to educate kids,
right?
But you got to make it fun,
right?
Or I'm telling you, Chinese kids will just roast you as a foreign teacher. So you've got to, and that's what this sounds like. It's fun, family oriented, and there's a lot of knowledge to be gained. At the same time, it's just the perfect environment to learn in and have fun and expand your horizons.
Yeah, it is, and that was always my dad's mantra. You know, we want families to come here. We don't want this to just be an old boys event. We want families here. We want, that's how you grow the sport. It's the kids. It's the moms. More women fish now than have ever before fished. That's not all because of us, but part of it is because of us.
Sure.
So, yeah, that's the fun part for me. And I will spend most of my time not inside with all the guys I know and I'm looking at their booths. I spend most of my time outside watching people having a good time at all the activities we're providing.
Yeah, for sure. Not to sound too profound, but nowadays it's even more important to have that family time, to induce that family coming together, because things in society aren't 100%.
No, they're not, but I try to explain to people who aren't in the fishing business that, like my dad told me a long time ago, you're never going to get rich doing this, but you're going to have a great lifestyle. Well, he was right, and he was right for a number of reasons, but one of the reasons was that there are good people in the fishing industry. Everybody in the fishing industry could be doing something else and most likely making more money. But they do this because it's a passion. Mike Lum had this phrase that, Mike, if you're listening, I'm still borrowing it from you.
Mike, listen up.
Celebrate the passion.
Yeah.
And if you put Celebrate the Passion up on a wall in any store, they'd think you were nuts.
Right.
You put Celebrate the Passion up in Long Beach, and everybody goes, yeah!
Right on.
Got
They
it.
get it, right?
They get
It
it.
resonates with everybody.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
So,
I've been talking to a lot of sport boat captains here recently, and I get that same vibe all the time, that these guys could definitely be doing something else
absolutely.
and making a lot more money, but they don't do that. They love this so much. You get it in your blood and you can't get it out.
Yeah. You know how smart and how hard it is to be a captain of these boats? I mean, these guys that run all these boats and know where the fish are and keep track of everything. I mean, they're geniuses, for God's sakes. All of them.
Absolutely.
I love them.
Absolutely.
You know? And we're so lucky in California to have a fleet that runs up and down our coast that is parallel. It's unparalleled anywhere in the world.
I know.
And we take it for granted. A lot of us, a lot of people do, but this is very lucky.
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
lucky.
And right out our door here, you got the San Pedro 22nd Street Landing Fleet. I get to run into these guys every day, see the work ethic, see how hard they work at this, and it's inspirational.
One of the boats here made me a promise in 2020 when all this ended. He made me a promise that he was coming back. He was the first one to contact me when he heard about this. That came from this landing. Yeah. So there we go.
That's great.
Yeah.
And speaking of this landing, they're going to be there.
They are.
22nd Street. Mike Morrison said, I'm really excited about this
Yeah,
one.
I know. Mike was worried. You know.
Mike's worried all the time.
So he had somebody call me, and he goes, he goes, hey, I don't have a contract. I said, yeah, but we talked and it was a verbal contract, like a handshake, and I'm okay with that. And this guy told Mike, and
Nobody does that nowadays.
he says, yeah, I used to do that with Bill Poole all the time. I said, well, good. Well, just consider me Bill Poole. We're done. We're done.
That's great. I know he's really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So people that are looking for an international experience, are there going to be booths like, I know Alaska's not international, but it's kind of exotic, like those kinds of Mexico or anything like that?
We have some of the best Alaskan booths. We just don't have a lot of them. In the past, we had them all. We still had the best ones. We had everything. Now we've just got the best ones, but we have them from all over the world, from Africa.
Whoa.
We have a couple from the Amazon. There's some. I've seen some of the pictures that they send me because when they want to come in, I said, well, send me. I want to see what you look like. So when I'm putting the map together, I know what to do. And there's some exotic places there. We've got some hunting in Africa as well.
Wow.
Yeah. So we always have some photography in Africa as well. Yeah. In Mexico, we've got a lot of Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mexico is. They don't have to be back at their lodges on April 1st. So,
Yeah, right, exactly.
So we got a lot of Mexico and a lot of South America.
That's fantastic. So can I just throw a couple of topics at you, and
Sure.
you tell me whether they'll be addressed at your show?
Sure.
I want to be a better surf fisherman.
Well, if you
That's
want
a softball, isn't it? Bill, I'm taking care of you.
Bill Varney. I mean, if there's anybody better there's a lot of good people out there. There's a lot of people who really know fishing, but Bill Varney's website is Fish the Surf. That should tell you something.
Right.
He knows certainly as much, if not more, than anybody about surf. And he has put together on Friday of our show, before the show starts, a 2-hour-long special seminar where it's only open to 150 people. You have to buy your tickets ahead of time. There's no tickets sold at the door. And that's going to be him, someone whose name I don't remember.
Watch your mic there, Bart.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Yeah. And he's going to, and Corey Sandin. And so it's going to be a wonderful seminar. They put together a whole selection of prizes.
Excellent.
That people are going to get, and they're going to be entered into another special drawing to win some more special tackle that we're putting together with Accurate. So there'll be light refreshments, serve coffee and water, and it should be a great seminar. These 2-hour seminar, and that includes your admission to the show as well.
Oh, great.
And all the money that's taken there is going to CCA. So that's
more important than ever right
well,
now,
yeah,
right?
right. So CCA is out there. You can join CCA in the front. There's a special package, and you'll get into the show for free also if you do that. But then also if you become a life member of CCA out in front, you get all that. You get the package. You get into the show. You're then entered into a special drawing, and in that special drawing, you're going to win some really nice tackle from Daiwa, I believe, and then also there's going to be a Hobie kayak given away, one of their new inflatables, the brand new one, and then a Dean safe. So there's probably only going to be 20 or 25 people become life members.
Yeah.
So your
odds are pretty good.
Your odds are very good of winning these much more high-end prizes worth probably between the two of them about five grand.
That's great. I'm not too good at tying knots. Can I go to the Bart Hall show and learn how to tie a better knot?
You can go to the Iserline Fishing Coach and say hi to Wendy, Tasha Harney, and Iserline.
I'm throwing Bart these softballs for you.
She's right there. She's right there. Then right around the corner from her is the Iserline Fishing Coach, and they will show you how to tie knots. As a matter of fact, Pat McDonald and I had this discussion the other day, and Pat's been helping us. He's our executive producer, and he says, "Well, you could make that knot tying thing smaller. That's boring. You can just say, Pat, it's boring for you because you're a professional angler. But many of the people who come in aren't, and the thing we hear most is, I don't know how to tie a knot. Well, you go there and they will show you how to tie the knots and answer any other questions you have about fishing. They'll answer, how do I match this with that? Is this any good for this? Is that any good for that? These are experts, and they're going to help you make you a better fisherman.
I want to buy a boat maybe, but I'm not sure what I want and exactly. I kind of don't want to go any further than Catalina, and I just don't know what to do.
More fishing boats at this show than any boat show in California.
That should do it, right? And you can, those guys are happy to talk to you, right? Share information. They
all got caught this circumstance where they couldn't get anything from the factories.
Yeah.
And then everything they sold was pre-sold, and so every boat they came in went out. They had no boats on the lot. And then the pipeline opened up, demand fell off, so they had all these boats ordered. So now here are all coming in. They've all got boats in stock.
Got inventory now.
They have inventory. They are anxious to sell them. They will be making deals at the shows. It's the best place to make a deal because they're competing against everybody else.
Yeah.
They're all there. Every major fishing boat company, I can't think of one that isn't, but I should just say the vast majority of fishing boat companies are at this show.
And I guess you could make that same case for fishing tackle at the show. There's a lot of guys competing there, so you can get some really good deals on that.
Yeah. Well, Shimano has the biggest booth I've ever seen at a Hall show, at this show. They are enormous. And as a matter of fact, I just got an email from them. They're shipping a bunch of big banners out, and they got to know where they can do it, and they got to do it by Thursday. And so as soon as I get off here, I got to send them a bunch of information. But yeah, they're huge. Daiwa's good. Akuma's the size they were. Accurate's where they were. Back to the size they were. Aved is there. They're a little smaller because their booth got destroyed, and they're trying to build a new one. Gamakatsu's. I'll tell you something we've never had before is Spro. Spro's never been out here before, and they're here now.
What do they do exactly?
They make a lure, and they're part of a Sea Falcon. I think you've heard of that, maybe heard of that lure.
Yeah.
Well, those things are together, and they're right next to Gamakatsu there in the line that we've set up. So that's cool because nobody out here they're a back east company,
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to ask you. I want to get a good lure. Well, you read my mind, Bart.
I'd go
intercepting my questions.
I'd go there, and that's going to be cool.
And I want to buy a rod, and I want a rail rod for bluefin tuna. I'm not going to catch anything over 100 pounds. Can I get some advice there?
Yes, you probably can go either to Bob Sands Tackle, to Turner's Outdoorsman, to Island Tackle. There's a couple of other smaller retailers there, but those are the ones that I would concentrate on and figure out what it is that they like and what they have on sale for you.
I want to go on a charter. I want to fish with some decent guys. You know, can I get on a boat? I'm sure Mike from 22nd Street would be able to help you there, right?
Mike from 22nd Street is sitting right in the middle. Matter of fact, most of the landings I have decided, since they were so nice and remembered who we were, are all in the middle of the show. You know, they're all there. 22nd is there, Fisherman's there, H&M is there. Redondo is there. I'm missing one.
Oh, don't miss anything.
No.
Don't do that.
Anyway, they're a Seaforth, and they're all kind of right there, right in the middle. So you can't miss them. You walk down the 395, you turn left, and you're going to run into every one of the landings.
Wow, that's fantastic. So you can get international fishing opportunities. You can. You know, it's something I skip over all the time because I'm not big into it, but freshwater opportunities. How about that? I'm always talking saltwater. I need to take care of my brothers and sisters in the freshwater market.
Well, we have in that line of on the first row there, the 395 row, we have Max Sporting Goods up in Bishop, and they can supply you with all of your trout needs. Guy Jeans, he has all the fly stuff you need up there, as does his and her fly shop up on top. And there'll be some other smaller companies that have freshwater stuff. But you got to remember that we all talk about saltwater here a lot.
You're right.
Most of the people who fish in California fish for trout.
Yes, that's right.
That's how it works. So we do the best we can to kind of make it for them.
Go ahead.
And Convict Lake has a big display there too, you know, of all the stuff that they sell up at their place. So.
Fantastic. Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
You and I are no longer spring chickens. How are you holding up? This is a lot of work. And to be honest with you, I may be okay at doing the podcast thing. If I had to organize the Bart Hall show, it would be a freaking disaster. I know you've got Jenny behind you, and she does a great job and keeps you organized maybe, but how are you doing this, man?
I think Jenny worked until 10:30 last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quit at 8:30.
I'm with you. I go to bed early because I get up at 4.
Yeah, and so, you know, that's how that works. And we have a good young team. My daughter-in-law, Katie, who was with our team before and has been with us for over 20 years.
I saw her at the Del Mar show, and I hadn't seen her for a long time. I even forgot her name.
Yeah.
But we looked at each other and said, hey, wow, it's good to see you.
And she's back with us now, and she's done a tremendous job. And we, you know, due to circumstances, we don't have Mike Lum. We'd love to have him, but, you know, who knows what the future holds.
Right.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I noticed when I got to the Del Mar show, Pat McDonald was out there, Katie, all these people were like, welcome, it's good to have you here. Everybody was so welcoming, and it just...
Pat McDonald works 20 hours a day. I don't know, that guy needs sleep. He probably doesn't have to sleep because he is always going 100 miles an hour, and he's always working. So he's fantastic. We have another person that helps us, a friend of mine, Jim McComb, whom nobody knows, but he's a 100-ton captain and great fisherman, got his own boat, and he's been helped a lot with the boat show. Because before that he manufactured parts for race boats that made fast boats go faster. So he was kind of a legend. He helped us with that. And then Jonathan Hall, who is not related to me, but it was a diver. He was a CSI diver for the FBI, and he's an avid fisherman.
Yeah.
And friends with a lot of people in the industry. And he's the one spearheading our overland section. He's the one kind of in charge of that. His mother helps us at the front desk, so she's a Hall, Diane Hall. And my family, you know, all of my grandchildren help there. They're all working there. And I got another friend of mine, Davin Lundquist, who's a doctor who is doing a lot of stuff for us. He's also an IT specialist, and he's making all of our database for next year, because we did this without a database. We did this without phone numbers, without emails.
Wow.
We did this with nothing. We did
Wow.
this with just the people we know.
Yeah.
And that's why it took so long, and that's why some people say, well, you know, at Del Mar, well, you didn't have this. Well, we didn't because we didn't know, we couldn't get to them until it was just Ginny and I in the beginning.
Yeah.
And so, but next year, everybody's there.
Let me say one thing to the people who are listening out there. You were on the show promoting the Del Mar show.
Yeah.
And Bart said it's not going to be what it was before this year, but we need you to come out to get us to next year. And it was great.
Yeah.
But you were perfectly candid with everybody out there and told them exactly what to expect, and they showed up. So I mean, I think most people would say, "Oh, it's going to be the same. Don't worry about it. You know, we're going to have 5." And you didn't do that. You were just perfectly candid with it, which I take my hat off to you. I take my hat off, but I think I might blind you with the glare. You know,
I love your head.
my bald head.
I don't think God likes it when I lie.
Right. Yeah, you get a lightning ball, right?
Yeah, I don't do that.
I wanted to ask you about the seminars. The seminar schedule, is that available now? Can people go,
Yes.
to...
Oh, yes. That's online at hallshows.com. All Pat McDonald. He did everything. If you like it, praise him. If you don't like it, blame him. I have nothing to do with it. He put together a
Pat, you're in trouble if anything goes wrong.
He did a tremendous job. The program that we had at Del Mar looked like a magazine. It was on glossy paper.
Saw that.
It was ridiculous. I've never had a program like that
Yeah.
before. Long Beach, there's going to be like 35 pages of that glossy stuff, but then online, there's like 70 pages.
Wow.
Because we actually couldn't afford to print 70 pages of glossy. It is just gorgeous what he's done. And he's put all of these seminars together with all these different kinds of speakers and people and covering every single aspect of fishing.
Can you give a few examples?
Okay, let's give a few examples. Well, first of all, Rich Tauber, who I've known forever, is on the Bass Tank. And Rich, he's a good friend of mine, a great fishing guide. Don Iovino, who was just inducted into the Fishing Hall of Fame, is older, but my God, he invented a style of fishing that people still use to this day, and he's there. We have, my God, now you got me in trouble.
I got you now.
Now you got me.
Well, you got the surf fishing thing covered, right?
Surf fishing thing covered. We're doing that over on the Mammoth stage. I'll tell you, on Saturday on the Mammoth stage, one of the things we're doing is we're having the Department of Fish and Game are sending all their bigwigs down. You want to voice your opinion, let them know what you think, let them know how good they are or how bad they are. That'll be there. Wayne Cotto from CCA is going to be the MC of that.
Whoa, so you can actually question the fishing game?
This will be at 2:30 on Saturday.
And we want everybody to be respectful.
Yeah, you be respectful.
Wildlife.
Fish and wildlife, you're right. Same thing. Fred Hall show, fish and game. I'm dating myself, Jenny. You're right. It's fish and wildlife.
Yeah, I know. It's fish and wildlife.
Yeah.
Yeah, formerly known as fishing game.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, but they're going to be there, and that's good. And then there's another one that Wayne's doing that's about 30 in 30, which is very important. And I don't know when that is, but if you go to the hallshows.com, HALLSHOWS, hallshows.com. The seminar schedules are on there, and it's very impressive. He's got everybody in there speaking.
Let me ask you one final, and if there's something I failed to ask you a question about, please, but the single mothers out there who are like, I know absolutely nothing about the outdoors or fishing or anything else, but I got a feeling it might be healthy for my kids. Is this the show to go to take them to?
So you bring your kids are free, and then you go outside and you sit and you listen to Milt Wilcox, who's a former pitcher who won the World Series and went pitching for, I think it was the Red Sox, and he will entertain you nonstop with the Ultimate Air Dogs as they jump and do their thing, and then you take your child over to the Paul Bunyan Lumberjack Show, and you watch a very entertaining show with another very funny man, Lee LeCapitaine, and then you go over and you do what all my children have done, and you race the ducks out there, and then you walk next door to where Brian Young is there with fishing in the city.
I haven't seen him for about 5 years. I'm going to go over and see him.
And he's a great guy.
He is.
and he will teach them how to cast, and they have a little contest, and if they win, they win a prize. And then from there, you go over, take them to the kids' fish-free trout pond, and they go inside and they catch a fish. And then you just walk inside and look at the trailers and the campers and the boats. And one of the things kids love to do best is run around on boats. Now, boat dealers hate it.
Yeah.
But kids love it.
Yeah, they
so
do.
As long as they take their shoes off, they can just run around like crazy. And they go, Mom and Dad, let's buy this boat. Of course, it's a $500,000 boat they're looking at, but...
I love it. And then you just kind of step back and watch the magic happen. Maybe that's, when you're raising kids, you throw things at them, piano lessons, outdoors, and see what they like and what they're good at. This is a perfect opportunity to do that.
Yeah, they can go to the BB gun range and shoot that. They can go to the air gun range. They can go over to archery and do archery over there. They might like that. Matter of fact, my granddaughter did archery first at our show and ended up loving it and becoming quite good at it.
Yeah.
So you just never know, But this is the opportunity. This is the place to do it, and we're going to have we're going to be as full as we can be, and we're going to have a lot of good people and a lot of good food, and I hope we have enough places for people to sit out. Outside, we certainly do. We're going to have that whole patio filled with tables and chairs. You can sit out there and just have a good old time.
That's how I'd like to end this almost. The good times, reminiscing about fishing trips, dreaming about adventures to come, and being able to realize that all. That's what the Bart Hall show is all about.
It is, thanks to my father and mother, Fred and Lois Hall.
Yep. Did I fail to, is there anything else you want to cover, talk about, or have we gotten it all?
Honey, did I forget anything?
Jenny said you did. Jenny,
I know. I don't know.
She's right too. You did fantastic. You're awesome on the show.
Yes, honey.
Well, he talked about the single mothers fishing.
Yeah, we talked about single mothers. Oh.
I used to teach them.
Oh, so
And
Jenny
I
used to
bring
teach
them
them.
down there.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important.
She would bring down these single mothers from Watts, where she was teaching.
Oh, wow.
She would bring them before the show opened.
Jenny, you were a teacher.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
She taught at a pregnant minor school, and she brought all these kids down, and we'd have all these female anglers there to work with them and show them, and they'd play with the worms. But once they got to the trout pond, they did not want to leave.
Yes.
And we said, you have to go now. You have to get on the bus. No, we're not leaving. Well, you do not want to leave.
Right.
And one reporter who didn't want to talk to me said, I know you're the promoter. I want to talk to this girl over here.
Yeah.
And she talked to this girl, and this girl said, where I live isn't very nice.
Right.
It's beautiful down here. And when my baby grows up, I'm coming down here and I'm going to go fishing. This is great. And I went, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
I mean, fishing and children and outdoors and children, I hate to say it again, but it's more important in 2023 than it's ever been in the history of our country.
It is. I really believe, Phil, this is a crossroads.
Yeah, I do too.
If we don't win this battle, if we don't convert more people, the world's going to be in trouble.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bart, one more time, the dates and how people can get a ticket.
Long Beach Convention Center, March 29th to April 2nd. You can get tickets online through Tixar, hallshows.com, or you can come on the old-fashioned way and go to the ticket booth and buy your ticket.
One of the most important things about this show, coming back, you're back now, is we've been able to renew our friendship. And
Yes.
I got to tell you, that means a lot to me, my friend.
Me too. It really does. And it's been an interesting time, but God has provided, and we're here.
Absolutely. We're both starting out again. I'm starting out again, too, back from China teaching.
I know.
So, Bart, thanks so much for being here. I deeply appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you, Phil.
And I will see you at the Bart Hall show.
I will see you, too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.